good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and also Happy New Year's if it's your first time seeing me ever. It's January, so I always, from the 1st to the 31st, I'd say Happy New Year's when I see people. It's a thing. Anyway, so if you're not familiar with me, my name is Lakara Ashmore. I live in Valdosta, Georgia, a little small country town, right? It's not where I was born, but that's where I live. Okay. And I'm not a minister per se. I have not been ordained as a minister, but I have a ministry, and my ministry consists of talking about the mind, the emotional and mental health of people. And so I'm not sure, excuse me, how many more of these videos I would do for 2025, but I got to do this one. I've been sitting on it for a while, and I don't want God to be mad at me if I keep sitting on this. So let me go ahead and get this out. And I'm not going to be long. I'm a rambler, right? If you're familiar with me, you know I'm a rambler. But the message will remain the same, and I will stay in context of what I'm trying to convey to you guys. With that being said, today, class, we're going to talk about Joseph. The first Joseph in the Bible. And just to give you guys context or scripture, the story of Joseph began in Genesis chapter 39, and it ends at Genesis chapter 50. And if you're not familiar with who this particular, you know, they got Jesus daddy Joseph, and I think it's another Joseph in the Bible. I ain't the best at scripture, okay? But I know the word, and I know the Lord. I know Jesus, I know the Holy Spirit, okay? So don't judge, just listen. But anyway, so yeah, Joseph, and he was Jacob's son, and Jacob is Israel. You know, Jacob Esau. He's Abraham. Joseph is a descendant of Abraham, and y'all know how the whole. If you don't know, go read the whole book of Genesis, and you'll find out the lineage of who is who and what is what, and what I'm really talking about. But just to give you guys an idea, again, I pulled from Genesis 39 to chapter 50 of Genesis, right? Because I think Joseph, like, everybody likes to do Job. Everybody likes to do Paul. Everybody likes to do, what's another one? David. They like to tell those stories. They like to minister off of those people. But I personally like Joseph because I identify a lot with Joseph. Okay? And I'm going to explain why. So with that being said, I hope that by the time I finish this video, that you guys are blessed with the message and that you learn to love yourself a little bit more and love the people around you a lot more, even if they don't deserve it. Anyways, with that being said, we're going to talk about Joseph. So Joseph was Jacob's son. I believe that Joseph was I know he wasn't the youngest, but either he was like next to the youngest. He was somewhere in the line at the end of Jacob's children. His sons anyway, because you know everyone's, I don't know how many daughters. He probably had more daughters than sons, but I'm rambling. Sorry. Sorry. Anyway, so Joseph was one of the younger siblings, and he was different from everybody, right? Everybody, you know, we're all human beings, so we all have differences, but Joseph like stood out. He was that God on the low, right? And so because he was so much different from the rest of his siblings, his father favored him a lot. And I think that's a thing with all parents when you have a baby. Because I think Benjamin came, I can't remember. But anyways, Benjamin came somewhat down the line. But Joseph was like Jacob's one of his favorite children. In all families, whether you want to admit it or not, we all got a favorite child. And it doesn't mean that you don't love any of your children any different. But it's always the one that sticks out. I'm like a Joseph in my family. Because for one, I'm the baby. The literal last born child from my mother's womb. And I'm the only girl. So, yeah, there's that. But anyways, yeah, so Joseph, he stood out. And because Jacob favored him over his other brothers a little bit more, or it may have seemed that way, rather, their brothers were jealous. And so one day Joseph was like, he had a dream and he told his brothers about the dream. And his brothers was like, oh man, I'm so sick of this nigga. He got to go. Like, this nigga, he think he better than us. Dad loves him more than us. He's always in the way. He always gets what he wants and we don't. And we have to do this and he doesn't. Right? So they'll be like, this how we get rid of it. Just kill him. Get rid of him. Now, the brothers came together. They had to go out somewhere for their father. Father told them to go do something. And I think they went to go get something. So dad sent the kids out, all the boys out, to go farming or hunting or whatever it was they were supposed to be doing. And they came up with a plan to get rid of Joseph. They were going to kill him. But I can't remember which brother it was. Now, like I said, I don't know scripture like that. Okay? So I'm just going off of my memory. Right. Okay. But I have to tell this story. I have to get this out. But anyways. So they came up with a plan to get rid of Joseph. They were gonna kill him at first, but one of the brothers was like, nah, bro, no, dad, you know what I'm saying? We shouldn't kill him. Cause that'll be like God will be mad at us at that point. But we can get rid of him. So they came up with a plan. They got rid of Joseph, threw him in a pit. And cut up, took his clothes off, smeared like pig's blood or goat blood or something on it to make it seem like he died. So when they took it back to his father, they're like, oh, we were out, and Joseph died, and da. So the dad was like, oh Lord. Now, he didn't expect anything bad. He just thought it was an accident and he died. Because back in those times, even now, accidents happen with family. But so shouted, Joseph died. And so the family moved on. And then Benjamin I can't remember if Benjamin was born right after Joseph or he was born because Joseph died. Can't remember that part, okay? Like I said, I know the word, but I don't know the word like that. I just want to tell y'all the story. So time went on, right? And so what ended up happening to Joseph, of course, like I said, he didn't die. They threw him in the pit. And some Egyptian people found him in the pit, cleaned him up, brought him to Pharaoh, right? Pharaoh like, oh, I could do something with this little nigga. Come on. So Joseph went through a lot of stuff while he was in Egypt, right? But by the time he got of age, Pharaoh saw the Pharaoh at the time. I can't remember his name, but the Pharaoh at the time said, I have good use of this guy because he's a dreamer. And so he bought him in, whatever. And so years passed. This is the whole little story with Joseph. I ain't gonna go all through that. I just want to tell you like the I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just a little hyped right now because this is my first video of the new year. I haven't done a video in a while, so I'm just really excited for what's about to be released after I finish this. Because somebody needs this. I promise you, when I get done, if you don't get set free, I'm not doing my job as a minister. So anyway, so Joseph, he did his thing, got older, he messed around and got real cool with the Pharaoh because he was doing God's work, right? And so there came a time where a famine hit the land, where Jacob and all his descendants were at. Mind you, Joseph is a descendant of Jacob, but he's supposed to be dead. And so the brothers came to Egypt to get some help. And then Joseph was like, I know them. Oh, I know them dudes right there. They're my brothers. Oh, let me help my brothers. So he did a little thing. Came to find out they was brothers. And then Joseph helped them or whatever, come out of the famine and all that stuff, right? Right. End of story. So that being said, let me talk to you looking at me right now. This is an open letter to the black sheeps in the world. I myself am a black sheep. I don't like to call myself that because I'm not black anymore. I'm white as snow. I've been washed by the blood of Jesus. So I ain't black no more. I'm white. I'm a white sheep now. But you might still be a black sheep. And I'm going to explain it, right? So when it comes to the term black sheep, from my understanding, it means that you are different from everybody. And a lot of people take the term black sheep as a negative connotation, as a less desirable person. in their family, in their friend groups, in their jobs or whatever, wherever you feel like you're a black sheep at. I'm talking to you. Okay. And I just want to tell you, unfortunately, being a black sheep, it's not a bad thing. It's actually a good thing because you're different. You're peculiar. You do things different. You think different. You move different. God actually created you to be the difference. Like, everybody in their family has a black sheep, right? But I don't want you to stay black. I want you to get white. Okay? Because like Joseph, right? Joseph was used, abused, and mistreated by his family. And despite all of that, he still chose, and he could have mistreated his family and turned his family away because of how they did him when he was 17. When he was a child, how they treated him, how his brothers treated him growing up. He could have said, no, they don't get nothing. But he said, no, those are my blood. I'm going to take care of them regardless of how they did me. And that, for one, is how you become a white sheep. Because a lot of us, we're always like, oh, I see so many people on social media and in reality, okay? I mean, social media is reality, but in real life, okay? IRL, in real life. I see so many people talking about, oh, I'm black sheep in my family. Nobody loves me. Nobody cares about me. I hate my family. I cut everybody off. I'm done with everybody. Like, you do me wrong, I'm done. And that's not what being a black sheep is about, honey. A black sheep is supposed to stand out because you were chosen for something different than the average person. Like I said, I used to be a black sheep. I used to have that mindset. Oh, my family doesn't love me. I went through abandonment. I went through a rejection. I've shared my story before. And if you want to see it, it's on Facebook. I mean, I got the whole video. It's like a 2-hour video I did on YouTube, okay? About the abandonment, the rejection. I didn't have a great relationship with neither one of my parents, neither side of my family. Growing up, I didn't feel loved. I was isolated from everybody because I'm not from Georgia originally. I'm originally from Worcester, Massachusetts. And my mom, for whatever reason, that's her story to tell, she decided, hey, I'm taking my kids with me and we're leaving. Okay? And I'm sad and glad she did, because I think, honestly, if I would have stayed in Massachusetts, I probably wouldn't have the mindset I have now. I'd probably be a totally different person. But I'm grateful, okay? Because I was able to, I'm going. Let me get back to what I was trying to say, excuse me. So growing up, I was abandoned. I was rejected. I was molested. I was raped. I was mistreated. I was lied on. I was stolen from. I was used. Everything negative you could think about the human experience. I went through that. But yet here I am at 36 choosing to love, because like Joseph, I made a conscious decision. Instead of hurting, using, abusing, and mistreating the people that did it to me, I choose to love them and be there for them and support them. Not because of me. It was because of God. I went to therapy for years. Off and on for like 6 years, but I went straight for 3 years because I had some really deep things to work through, especially in regards to the relationship with my father and all of my siblings, not just mom's side, daddy's side too. Okay? And I struggled with that for many years. I did not feel like I mattered. I did not have any value. I felt like growing up, it was kind of hard for me. I'm not really making this about me, but I want y'all to understand where I'm coming from. I'm not coming from a place of, I don't know what I'm talking about, because, nigga, let me tell you something. Anything that I come on here and talk to y'all about is from experience. And I was able to overcome it, okay? So I'm not talking from a place of maybe. No, I'm talking of a place of it is possible if you want it, okay? So, growing up, I was always alone. I never really had a lot of friends. The friends that I did have, they were always jealous of me because I'm a pretty girl and I was spoiled and all that blah, 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 blah. Even with family, I was mistreated by family. And I had grown a shell of, if nobody's going to protect me, I'm going to protect me. And I'm going to use my fist and my words to protect me. And so because of that, I became a very angry little girl. I became a very hypersexual young lady as well. And I'm not ashamed to tell that, because that's nothing to be ashamed of. I learned a lot of things. But they ain't y'all business. But just know, I learned a lot of things. I learned how to read, write, and peep stuff being in the streets. I jumped off the porch early. I sold drugs, in and out of jail for fighting, selling drugs. Like, I was just a mess. And it wasn't until I was about 24 when God was like, that's enough. Here at 36. I still struggle. Now, don't get me wrong. I still struggle with relationships with people because of how I was treated as a child. But as I'm getting older, I'm realizing that I am the master of my destiny. Yes, God gave me free will. Yes, God gave me purpose. But I still control how I move, how I think, and how I speak. And so thanks to therapy, back to that point, thanks to therapy, I learned how to forgive, right? I learned how to let go. I learned that holding grudges means nothing. And so to you, my fellow black sheep, before I end this video, I want to say to you, if I can overcome, so can you. But you have to first let go of that. Nobody loves me, nobody cares about me, nobody respects me. Because guess what? The people that are around you may not right now, but if you show them the difference, they will eventually come around or be moved out the way, and God will send you people who really love you and care about you and will do right by you. I am a witness, and I am a firm believer that when you believe in yourself and you let go of everything that was sent to destroy you, distract you, and hurt you, you will become a better person. I have my days. Like, I'm still grieving the loss of my father. I'm grieving a lot of things that happened in the last 4 years, but I'm able to overcome it better because I understand that this is just something I had to go through. I'm not being punished for something I did. Because I used to think that, like, when I was younger, I was like, dang, wow, all these boys just want to, like, rape me and molest me. Girls, too. I was molested by girls, too. A lot of, baby, and if you want to check me out, I'm going to try to get the link to that YouTube video so y'all can see what I'm talking about. But I was molested a lot between the age of 5 to about 13, even as an older woman, grown woman. Even as a teenager, I went through a lot of rapes and sexual assault, so to speak. And I became callous. I was so evil and mean and vindictive that I would hurt anybody. Mama, daddy, teacher, it didn't matter. Like, it was so bad, y'all, that at 16, I was deemed a menace to society because I tried to kill the police. I'm not going to say that man's name, but it's a police officer right here in Valdosta, Georgia, who has a hearing aid in their right ear, I believe. And that came from me. Because I was so hurt. I didn't feel loved. I didn't feel valued. I didn't feel appreciated. But it wasn't until I said yes to God again, because I got saved at 7, but I don't think it really mattered at 7. But it mattered at 24, 23 when I said yes to God again. It wasn't until then where I really realized that I was not a black sheep. I was a white sheep that got smeared by the smoke and mirrors that the devil was using to stop me from being who I am right now. And so with that being said, I'm not the type of Christian who believes that you have to give your life to Christ. But if you really want to stop being a black sheep and be a white sheep and be clean white as snow, get to know God for yourself. Get to know Jesus for yourself. I promise you, it'll make a world of difference. And I'm trying not to cry because I still struggle with certain things. But by the grace of God, when I struggle, I can go to God and be like, God, I'm struggling with this. God, I need you. I need help with this. I need you to do something. And he does it. I don't do it on my own anymore. As a Christian, I don't feel alone anymore. Even though I am alone. I'm not married. I don't have kids. I got family. I got a boyfriend. I got, people I love and care about. But I still feel lonely sometimes. And when I get to that place, God will be like, you're not lonely, sweetheart. Here goes a phone call. Here goes a text. Here goes a memory. Here goes some, God always reminds me that I'm not alone. And if you feel alone and you feel like you can't be close to your family, ask God to help you overcome that grudge. Ask God to help you forgive your auntie that molested you or your uncle that used to beat on you or whatever. Ask God to help you with that. Because when you get the help that you need, they will overcome. They will be free because you got free. And I really don't know why God wants me to share this with you. And I know why the devil has stopped it. He's been stopping it. Because I was supposed to do this like 2 months ago. Or a month ago, rather. But I'm here. If you're looking at me right now, I'm talking directly to you and nobody else. Okay? Because it's just me in this call. And I'm recording this video for you. Okay? Let go of the grudge. Let it go. And if you don't know how to let it go, again, ask God to help you. He gives us free will to do what we want to do. And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to go, okay? Because I'm trying not to be too long. But I notice a lot of people always be like, if God gave us free will, why is there so much evil? And da-da-da-da-da? Why is all this happening? It's because people don't say, hey, God, I need you. He'll let you go do your own thing, figure it out on your own, move how you want to move, do what you want to do. But the moment you say, God, I need your help, he will help you. Because our will, he gave us free will for, because he wants us to live. If God didn't want us to have a free will, I don't even think I would be who I am right now. Because I'd probably be somewhere like, you just go on shit, praying all day long. Then no, here I am. I was scrolling on TikTok until this morning, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I was doing a lot of different things. God gives us free will to do and say what we want. But if we really want to change what we say and what we want, and you know, the life, like if you're not happy with your life, no amount of books, no amount of therapy, because I'm a firm believer in therapy, okay? No medication, no nothing will help you until you ask God for help. Ask him for help. I promise you, man, I don't know what we're about to experience. You know, every generation, you know, 70, 60, 89 generations like that, we all go through something. We all experience something. Like, just imagine when your grandparents were alive, they would have never expect to see Martin Luther King or President Obama. Our generation, we're about to experience something very rare and very unique. And so it's very important at this time that we just learn how to love and let go. Learn how to forgive. That's your best weapon in this life. Self-love and forgiveness. And if you truly love yourself, you'll be able to love others despite how they treat you. Stop being so conditional. Okay, your uncle, your grandma used to beat on you. Now that she did, you know, she older, now you beating on her. Don't do that, bro. Stop being a black sheep, be a white sheep. Okay? Stop letting your experiences keep you from having true happiness. Okay? No, I'm not perfect. I still cuss folks. I be showing, I ain't put my hands on nobody in some years. I still struggle with some things, so I'm not coming to you as a perfect person. I'm coming to you as somebody who's flawed, but sees that a lot of people need a lot more love and a lot more guidance than usual. Like myself, I needed a lot of love. I needed a lot of guidance, and I got it because I asked for it. I didn't go out looking for these people. God, I said, God, help me find my tribe. Help me find the help that I need so that I could overcome my mind, because I was very suicidal. Attempted a few times. I was very evil, y'all. Like, I used to cut fuck. I'm incriminating. But I used to do a lot of wild stuff to people because I was angry. A lot of things I'm not proud of. I'll speak on it in private. I don't want to incriminate myself any more than I just did. But just know that your girl has overcome because I asked God for help. It's really that simple, yeah. It's complicated, but it's simple. Life is really that simple. If you just learn how to stop holding grudges, you'll be all right. And I'm going to tell you something somebody told. I can't remember this lady's name, but it's some years ago. She was like, you see that she was talking about the cemetery over here on the west side. I live on the west side. What's it? Sunset Cemetery or whatever it's called. She said, you see that cemetery over there? And I was like, yes, ma'am. She said, you know how many people in there are dead that did not live out their fullest potential because they were holding grudges? You know how many people out there, how many astronauts, how many doctors, how many lawyers, how many preachers, how many teachers are in that grave because they couldn't do it because they were holding grudges, or they were afraid to love fearlessly, and so they died with so much potential. Don't let it be you, baby. I think I probably had to been like 20, maybe 19, 20. Cause I was on probation. Half was I was on probation. Long story. I was on probation, so I had to do community service, and I was doing it at the cemetery. And the lady was in the cemetery with me. She was talking to me or whatever. I think she was going to visit one of her family members that lived in there or whatever, and she told me that, y'all. She said plain today. She said there are so many people in these graves who did not live out their potential because they were holding grudges, or they were fearful because they worried about what everybody else thought about them. Don't let it be you, because this show ain't finna be me. It's a slow burn, but it's a good one. Steady. I'm getting to where I gotta go, despite all the challenges that I'm facing on a regular basis, especially now with these migraines that I'm having. I'm going through a lot, y'all, but I'm here, and I'm still going because I stopped being a black sheep and I became a white sheep, and everybody around me is changing. It's growing and loving and forgiving. I am a true witness and believer of the magical, I don't even want to say magical, but the power of trusting God, giving everything to God. I am a witness to that. And if you know who I used to be, it should make you want to be like, you know what, if that nigga, to mommy, if that nigga could talk about God and get it right, I know I can. Cause boys used to be hell, especially on these niggas. Why used to do these boys so wrong? I did. I ain't ashamed to admit it. I be want to do them wrong now, but that's another story for another day. Anyways, I just wanted to come on here and encourage the black sheep to stop being black and get white. That's all. Yeah, sure. What kind of God will allow this to happen? The same God that allow you to still be alive. Stop being ignorant and stop being so prideful, egotistical that you don't want to let go of the hurt, the pain, and the grudges. Let that ego die in you so you could be free. And so God could surround you with people who love you and who won't abandon you and who won't reject you or use you or abuse you. Allow God in your life, bro. I'm not the type of Christian that believes in Jesus is the answer to everything. I don't believe that. I mean, let me rephrase that. I do believe that, but because I understand that everybody is willing to receive Jesus, I learned how to talk around it. And people still get free. So, but it's my page. And you looking at me, so I can say what I want to say. Get to know Jesus. Accept Jesus in your life and let him help you, shout it. It's really that simple. Life is already complicated. Man, 2025 is about to be a strange year. It's already been strange years prior. Even yesterday was strange. But moving forward, man, we about to experience some things. And so it's very imperative, as me being a believer, that I continue to uphold my mission. And that is for everybody to be free as much as possible. Those who have an ear, let them hear. And if you listening, I promise you, your life will change, bro. I'm not where I want to be. I'm not, certain situations I really can't control. But one thing I can control is having the patience and the endurance to wait. And that's a lot of our problems. I'm finna go. That's a lot of our problems. Y'all don't even want to trust God because you don't like to wait. You're impatient. But get what? When you move ahead of what God has for you, you're going to end up at ground zero anyway. So you might as well go ahead and just shut it up. Stop your whining. Stop your complaining. Just wait. And while you're waiting, get some help. If you can afford therapy, go get you some therapy. If you can't afford therapy, I'm for free therapist. I'm not really licensed, but I have enough education, certification, and enough experience to kind of help you get from point A to point B. Now, I might not be able to get you from point B to point C, but point A to point B, I gotcha. And with that being said, I love you guys, and I appreciate you. If you watched the whole, 30 minutes, 29 minutes, 30-minute video, if you watched this whole video, I hope it helped. I hope you begin to learn how to let go of what already happened. There's nothing you could do about it. You're still mad at somebody from what happened when you're 5 and you're 40. Bro, let it go. Sis, let it go. Do something different with your life, and maybe you'll have a better outcome. Maybe you won't be so miserable when you wake up in the morning. Maybe you won't be having all those health problems if you stop holding the grudges. Learn how to forgive. It's really that simple. Forgiveness is the best medicine to healing. A lot of us are having high blood pressure, diabetes, and all this stuff is because we have a lot of hate and a lot of unforgiveness in our hearts. You get what I'm saying? Talking from experience, okay? Remember, anything that I say is from experience. It's never from something else. I didn't hear this from somebody else. I didn't learn this from anybody else. I learned this from me doing the work. Me dropping my ego, letting go of my pride so that I can help the next person and help me be free. Because y'all listen, woo-wee. If you really want to know some things about me, man, I got a whole 2-hour video on YouTube, and it'll make sense to why I always try to preach forgiveness. That's your best friend in this world. Not money, not a boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, whatever, all that stuff. Loving yourself enough to forgive those that hurt you and having grace to give is the best thing you could do for your life. You can make all the money in the world. Look at all these, let me say that. All these billionaires out here committing suicide. They got all their money and still ended up dead. Because they're not happy. You want to know why? Because they do not love. Love covers a multitude of sins. That's in the Bible. And it's not talking about, somebody beating you up and you forgive them for beating you up. No, it's talking about if somebody hurt you, somebody disrespected you, or like as a child, if you were raped or molested, and you see the person who did it to you, and you see them and you don't take action, you actually be like, God, they look a mess. I forgave them. I hope you forgive them too, Lord. Anyways, I love y'all, and I thank y'all for tuning in. Peace.